Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're doing well on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Back with another podcast episode or live stream, podcast live stream. Yeah, I actually was surprised that we have so many topics this week. Normally July is a bit more tame, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff is going on. I'm actually not covering. I could have covered much more, but yeah, a lot of people are already covering those topics in much more detail than I can, and yeah, I stick to the overall trends that I am interested in, and yeah, that's what I'll be doing today again. And yeah, we have some follow-ups to previous episodes, and we're going back actually quite a while now, so we'll be good. Yeah. Okay, stream seems to be working just fine. Okay. So let's see. That's looking good. Okay. Perfect. And then, yeah, and of course, let's go to the show notes for today. Too bad. Lost my Safari window again. Why? No, it did not. What the frick? I'm going to irritate you a bit quickly. Now it seems to work. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So we have the show notes, and you can use ! show notes in the Twitch chat also to get those. Those should be reposted in the YouTube chat through Restream. So you'll have all those information, and yeah. Topic wise, we are going to talk about Meta replacing the Facebook login with a Meta account for former Oculus devices, now Meta devices. Then there is going to be a quick Kickstarter for a Valve Index wireless module, which is pretty interesting. And then there will be next week a Steam VR Fest, a special sale on Steam. Then we have the next big acquisition in the gaming industry. Sony is buying Bungie, actually completes this transaction. Then Apple and Jony Ive are continuing their partnership, basically now finally, and Apple's new M2 MacBook Air has launched this week. Then there's a nice news that is SteamOS is going to support other handheld devices, and yeah, we were discussing chip shortages a few months ago. Now the GPU market is overstocked. thanks to crypto getting yeah, kicked down in value quite hard. And yeah, those are the topics that we will be discussing during the recording later. So yeah, and as always, all the articles that I will be talking about, they will be listed on the show notes. So if you want to read up on a particular topic, you are able to do so. So, giving people a bit more time to get in. So yeah, and I hope everyone is doing well, enjoying the weather. For us, we have probably the hottest week of the year coming up here in Germany. Expected temperatures of 37 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty hot for our region. And yeah, so I would say, how long are we in? 8 minutes. I'll wait till 10 minutes and then we are going to start the recording. As I mentioned in other in my gaming streams, Friday I was not able to do my the planned Beat Saber session. Due to some constraints that came up, and my stream schedule will be a bit out of place in the next couple of weeks since I am changing jobs, and I don't know what my schedule will be in August, and so we have a temporary schedule for the next 2 weeks. So with a bit more streams because I have free time at my hands. So if you want to join in, feel free to do so. The Beat Saber streams will remain in the mornings, especially due to the high temperatures. So yeah, and we are 10 minutes in. So, therefore, I would say let's get into the recording. Let me stop the music. Okay. And let's switch scenes. Okay. And let me actually check something. Yeah, that is active. That's weird. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, but let's get going with our traditional countdown.
Three, two, 1, 0.
And welcome to my technology podcast. This is episode number 23, recorded live on July 17th, 2022. I hope everyone is doing well and had an awesome 2 weeks during these trying times. For everyone watching or listening for the first time, this show is recorded as part of a live stream on Twitch and YouTube and might not be as polished as a pre-recorded podcast, and it might contain reactions to the live chat. And let's jump right into our topics, since we have quite a few this time. Despite this being mid-July, the normal time of the year where things are drying up a bit. But I already mentioned pre-start of the recording that this year a lot is going on in the tech industry, and basically in foreshadowing of the fall. And yeah, I'm not covering everything going on with upcoming hardware releases and so on. I'm sticking to those topics that are particularly more interesting to me, and which I think are valuable to be highlighted. There are a lot of other outlets that cover those and much those other topics, like the new Intel GPUs and so on and so forth, and the other new GPU generations that are coming up, rumor-wise, which are basically overturning each other currently in daily intervals. So if there is big news on something that I think that is report worthy, I will come back to that. But yeah, if you are interested in all the details and all the circles the rumor mill is doing in those topics, then you have to check other outlets, because yeah, I want to be more focused on a bit overarching, more overarching topics, and yeah, and therefore we're going to start today with some VR topics. First of all, Meta is replacing the Facebook login with Meta accounts. Long awaited. Then there is going to be a Kickstarter for Valve Index wireless module. Then in the week following the recording of this episode, there will be the first ever Steam VR Fest promotion. Then we have the next big gaming industry acquisition. Sony is buying Bungie. Then next up is that Apple and Jony Ive are finally parting ways. They discontinued their partnership. Then also we had Apple's M2 MacBook Air launch this week, with some new controversies, which I think are not really controversies. And then we have a nice report in regards to SteamOS going to support other handheld devices. And then we are going to talk about the sudden GPU market being overstocked. And as a follow-up, basically, on our discussions in regards to the chip shortages. And yeah, so those are the topics, and I would say we are going to just jump right in. The first one being Meta is going to replace the Facebook login requirement for Quest with the new Meta account. So that has been long awaited. and basically now it's finally happening, and also people who are still using Oculus accounts are also going to be forced to switch in 2023, or what is this year? Here are the points that I think most interesting for everyone. I just read this quickly. The move away from Facebook logins, which was first announced late last year, so I think we talked about that on the podcast, is set to come into effect sometime in August. It will introduce a new Meta account structure that the company says gives people more flexibility and control in VR, as it removes the Facebook account requirement and allows users to unmerge from the social platform entirely if they so choose. This has been a big thing for a lot of people because Oculus headsets are often also shared by multiple people, and even sometimes used by companies nowadays. And yeah, having this tied to a personalized Facebook account, as is now required with Facebook accounts, it is a bit tricky, let's say. So this includes a number of changes. Here's a quick breakdown of the major features as revealed by Meta. Everyone needs a Meta account to log in to their device. Everyone needs a Meta Horizon social profile used for social stuff. You can unlink your Facebook account entirely. New Meta accounts let you add Facebook and or Instagram to the same account center for connected experiences. Friends will become followers a la Instagram. So yeah, it's the right step in the right direction, but yeah, if you ask me, half-ass. Because it's still Meta, it's still Facebook, even if they're not called Facebook anymore. And they're a data kraken, and they are still requiring you to have a social profile, even if you're not using social stuff in the account. So why? This is... I just want to use my VR headset. And yeah, so that's... And therefore, I am also doubting very much that Meta is going to change their stance for the Quest in Germany, where it is not sold anymore because of the whole account situation, and Facebook/Meta not wanting to comply with the data privacy demands in Germany. And that's why those headsets are not sold here anymore. You can still acquire them through the EU market by ordering via Amazon France or Italy, and Amazon is going to ship them within a few days even, without issue, and you can still connect them to your Facebook account and use them without an issue. And but if you ask me, the Pico Neo 3 link that we discussed in earlier episodes is a very compelling alternative, because you don't need a Facebook account. You can use it properly as a PC VR headset without any hiccups. And yeah, right move in the right direction, but not fully. But that's basically what I have to say about the whole Meta account situation. Let me actually close the tabs that we already talked about. Then let's go to the next topic, which is the announcement of a Wi-Fi 6E transmitter which aims to untether the Valve Index with that is by the company. Where does it see this? I forgot the company name already again. Where is it? Let me check this because it's named on the video here. The company is called Noffer, and they're actually showing off this article, and the previous article actually also are from Road to VR. Forgot to mention that for those people who are listening to the episode. And here is a YouTube video linked or embedded that is showing off the wireless capability. And basically, this picture shows now the setup with the Index and the battery pack. And according to the information that I provided here, the battery pack gives you about 2 hours. Yeah, here is actually is. The creators promise a 2+ hours battery life with the supplied battery pack, which is about in line with standalone headsets such as the Meta Quest 2 and the Pico Neolink 3. The device is able to support other USB-C battery packs, however, so you could either choose a larger capacity battery or simply keep multiple batteries at the ready for longer play sessions, which is basically true for all those standalone headsets. So this is using Wi-Fi 6E, so you have to have Wi-Fi 6E infrastructure in your home to run this properly, but I think that is the case for most modern wireless transmitters. And yeah, so that is something interesting to see. And here are also the information for the pre-orders. Pre-orders are set to launch through Kickstarter sometime in August, with an estimated delivery window of Q1 2023. Pricing is slated to be between $399 and $499, Noffer says, which will likely position it as an enthusiast-level piece of kit, which should be obvious since, yeah, even the Index is not an entry-level piece of kit. It's as it says here. Granted, if you already own the full $1,000 Valve Index package, which includes headset, Index controllers, and tracking base stations, you might already consider yourself a VR enthusiast. So that's not a surprise. And when you look at solutions like the new Pimax headset that we talked about in, I think, 2 episodes ago, which also has the wireless capability, and I think even that's $1,400 or $1,500 US. So if you add this up, the full $1,000 Index package plus the $400 one here, you will be able to get the whole thing for a similar price. And welcome in Xoanon. Xoanon writes in chat, unfortunately too late, too expensive, probably will be ready shortly before we get it indexed to wireless. Q1 2023, there is an Index 2 announced already, or end of this year? Okay, I did not know that. I think what Valve is working on is going to be a bit more down the road because they are still working on finalizing the Steam Deck. And if you go by the Deckard, Project Deckard rumor mill, the next Valve headset will actually be a standalone headset based on the technologies and developed around the Steam Deck. So, yeah, I don't expect a wireless headset from Valve early next year. I don't expect that. I wholly, I thoroughly doubt that. But thanks for the input. Yeah, but definitely interesting to see that something like this is coming out. It follows definitely the trends right now to get VR untethered. A lot of parties are working on that right now. If I remember correctly, the solution that Pimax is using with the new headsets is also Wi-Fi 6E. So yeah, but so you also have to, because most of us probably have so-called Wi-Fi 5 in our homes. Wi-Fi 6 and 6E are not that widely adopted yet, as far as I know, at least. And so you probably also have to factor in a Wi-Fi upgrade for your home, so you have good coverage for low latency in your VR play space. If you want to, because of course the Index does not have integrated games, so you rely on PC VR and getting this in low latency. So yeah, but basically I will also keep an eye on this and will update you guys on what's happening with this on later episodes. So will be interesting to see. Of course, it's a Kickstarter, and there you might be right, Xoanon, as they are saying Q1 2023, but the markets and supplies are weird right now, and it's a Kickstarter, so you don't know how much they already have lined up in regards to production. So we have to see what will happen. Nevertheless, next up, we have Steam VR Fest coming up next week, it seems. So for everyone who did not follow the whole Steam sales in the last couple of months or fests, there was a Steam demo fest in the spring. Then there was, what was the last one? I actually forgot already. Did they actually mention this here? Yeah, it was the Next Fest, right? That's what it was called. And I think there was also some other thing. And so from July 18th till 25th, so actually starting tomorrow, Steam will host the first VR Fest, basically showcasing VR games and solutions in the Steam store, and yeah, putting a bit more public promotion to VR, which, based on the VR market numbers that we also discussed in the previous episode, is actually a good thing. And perhaps this gets more people into VR, or let's get people back to VR who are perhaps trying out VR in the past, lost interest because VR was a bit stale sometime in regards to new releases, and now we have a lot of exciting content coming up. I personally hope that as part of VR Fest, we will get an update for Hubris, because they were actually part of Next Fest with their initial demo, which actually also got updated in the meantime, which I found out when I did the sword controller testing. And so I think Hubris is still slated to be released this year, and I am really looking forward to another AAA style VR experience. And even if it's an action adventure game, Hubris is really taxing because of all the climbing and swimming sections that you have there. But it's not a game for everyone. I definitely understand that, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what's coming. As part of VR Fest, perhaps we get some other announcements, or who knows what's coming up. I'd definitely love to see a bit more VR focus on Steam. That's awesome. Next up, and this article is on Engadget, is that Sony is completing the $3.6 billion deal to buy Bungie. And I really find it funny how Bungie has transitioned in the past 20 years. Because Bungie started out with a tight affiliation with Apple, where actually I think the initial showcase for Halo, which it was their first major release, was part of a Apple keynote. Then they got, I don't know if they got bought by Microsoft, or did not research this in advance, but they actually then were Xbox exclusive with or Windows exclusive with Halo, and it did not even come, I think, to the Mac at first. And yeah, now they are basically, and then they got affiliated with Activision Blizzard, where they were having Destiny 2 only in the Activision Blizzard launcher in Battle.net. And now they're part of PlayStation. So this is a bit of a journey. And yeah, so... But the market is definitely consolidating. A few days ago, I think it was Linus Tech Tips, they put out a pretty funny tweet in regards to the whole gaming space. They used scenes from I don't remember which movie it was. It was from one Marvel movie. It could have been Captain America, where basically all the Avengers were fighting each other on a Berlin airport, and so basically the one side wasn't the Microsoft, Bethesda, and so on side, and basically the other side wasn't basically all the rest. It was hilarious, and but it pictured what's happening in the gaming industry right now pretty well, I have to say. And yeah, so just noteworthy to mention this acquisition because we covered a lot of the gaming industry changes in previous episodes. Yeah, but not much more to talk about it. So it's Sony is planning to have Bungie basically still be independent, and so Pro tries not to be involved probably, or at least they say that right now, but we know how much worth that is in the long term, and will be definitely interesting to see. But perhaps with PlayStation involvement, perhaps we're getting to see stuff in regards to more stuff from Bungie, for perhaps also for VR, because Sony is heavily investing in PlayStation VR 2 right now, and there were quite a few showcases in the how was it called again? State of Play event. And so let's see what comes out of that. And let's go to the next topic. Talking about Apple, this one is now on Mac Rumors. Apple and John, former chief designer from Apple, Jony Ive, mutually decided to part ways and did not continue the agreement to partner for design work. So Ive is now working fully independent from Apple, and Apple is now basically also there going their own ways. And that this is news that is just, for me at least, worth mentioning, because Ive was basically since Steve Jobs took over Apple in 97, or took it back over in 97 till, I don't remember when did he formally leave, in 2019, right? And till then, Ive was basically the main force behind the designs at Apple, and you see now in the products that have come out in the last year the change in design strategy at Apple, and overall I have to say thumbs up for the changes. Of course, there are currently technical controversies, but overall, I think the new designs, the new concepts, the move back to more function instead of just pure design, while not leaving the topic of design behind, has been well received. We can actually jump over to the other Apple topic that I have on hand here, because it ties perfectly in. On Friday, the new MacBook Air launched with the new design, and this article is also on Mac Rumors. It's basically a summary. So if you want to hear what our reviewers are saying about the new MacBook Air, this is your point to go. It links articles, it links videos from famous YouTubers, and so on and so forth. It has all the information, and of course you will find the link to this article here in the show notes, so you can dig deep if you want to. But basically, to summarize the findings, based on what was already known through the previously launched M2 MacBook Pro, is the M2 is running a bit hotter than the M1, and therefore the M2 MacBook Air, which is not actively cooled again like the M1 MacBook Air, it's only good for, let's say, high load sprints. It's not good for high load endurance, let's say. And in the class of this device, and what most people are using a device like this for, that is okay. It suffers again the same issue as the M2 MacBook Pro, with the 256 gigabyte version only having one 256 gigabyte chip for storage, which only utilizes one channel of the SSD controller, which is really, really hampering performance. But if you ask me, people who are buying the base model with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, they will not do more than web browsing and a bit of word processing and whatsoever, primarily light workloads, and people will not notice these limitations who are buying the base model. And I saw a comment yesterday, I think, which was pretty interesting, because for those tasks, you should not buy the M2 MacBook Pro. You should buy the M1 MacBook Pro, which is already getting, it's still in Apple's lineup for $200 less. I think in Europe and the UK, it's even 250 less. And you're getting those devices already discounted at Amazon and other retailers, and you will be perfectly happy with those. Yes, of course, you're losing MagSafe and all the stuff, but the M1 is not a slouch in regards to capabilities. I did my first podcast recordings and so on with my M1 Mac Mini last year, and video editing and so on and so forth, and it was perfectly capable of doing that. Of course, the Mac Mini is cool, but the performance difference is not that much between those devices. And so for light workloads, you can save upwards to $500 or $400 respectively when you go for a M1 MacBook Air instead of an M2 one. But for example, if you do a bit more professional stuff, for example, I think the M2 MacBook Air with the 6 gigs of RAM and at least 512 gig storage, if not a terabyte, would be a perfect machine for photo editors. You don't rely on, or even for video editing, because the big thing for the M2 is it has the video encoders, and that is making a huge impact if you're using Final Cut. So that's my 2 cents on the launch of the MacBook Air and what the reviews are saying. And now going back to gaming, we have videocards.com here with the news that Valve, according to GPD, wants to optimize SteamOS for the AMD Ryzen 7 6800U powered consoles. And I think GPD is not the only one who's releasing that. I think Aya has a new variant coming out with that as well. And of course, this is then RDNA 2 and Zen 3 cores being utilized. So if you ask me, that's not surprising that Valve is doing that, because they're probably working if they are working on an updated concept for VR headset. They will probably be using, if they are continuing to use x86 APUs, they will probably want the efficiency of Zen 3, and therefore, and they already have that RDNA 2 in the Steam Deck, and that combination just makes sense. And so they're probably doing this any optimization anyway. And since, as far as rumors went, that Valve wants to release SteamOS anyway for the public to install also on PCs, that's not a surprising move. That would work then with other platforms as well. And but still, Valve could have said, no, we are not optimizing for other manufacturers, and they still do, and which is a good thing for the long-term viability of SteamOS, and growing the user base on Linux, and basically growing the support for Linux gaming as well. And if Valve is really doing a SteamOS based VR headset, then we will have Linux based VR also being pushed. And if you ask me, at some point, if that trend continues, we will not have any reason to run Windows for gaming anymore if this trend continues. So yeah, I still have to do my test run of SteamOS on my desktop. I want to test this Holo ISO mods that already exists on my system, because I am running Zen 2 and RDNA 2 in my desktop, and I'm really interested to see how SteamOS is going to perform. But I did not have time to do that yet, and I hope that during the next 2 weeks, where I have a bit time off between jobs, I am able to actually try that out. And yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys updated. And if I do the install, I will definitely release a video on that on my YouTube channel as well. And yeah, that leads us to our last topic, and that is that due to the cryptocurrency crash, and basically all the cryptocurrency miners now selling their stock of used current generation or 1 or 2 generations past graphics cards, the secondary market gets flooded right now with cards. And according to some sources, this is even just the beginning. And since Nvidia is basically getting ready to release the next generation, the RTX 4000 generation, Nvidia actually cut prices on basically all of the RTX cards. Yeah, no, not all of them, but the bigger ones. So the yeah, so the 3090 Ti got cut from $500. The 3090 got cut $200. 3080 Ti got cut $100. And yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, and you already see those prices being reflected in the market already. And that could actually, according to some sources, just be the beginning. And also a precursor to that, because this announcement was from okay, this article here is from Thursday, but I think the prior official announcement was already on Tuesday. And on Thursday, you were actually already seeing the price reductions in the market. And a precursor to that was actually on Monday of the last week. There were already signs in China that GPU prices are dropping quite heavily. And yeah, this situation now, both articles here about the GPU situation are also on videocards.com. And why the hell is one of my lights acting up? Sorry if that is irritating someone. Can't do anything about that right now. And yeah, it's actually because of this light, just the train of thought. I am very sorry about that. Yeah, so this whole situation now led actually to also, I heard that one media source that NVIDIA actually tried to request TSMC to reduce production of the 4000 series, but basically TSMC basically said, nope, not possible. Or you find us another company to do to take over the allocation. And yeah, since basically everyone else is in the same situation now in the GPU business, and probably also in the overall CPU business for consumers, because due to the economic situation, people are not buying as much PC hardware. And yeah, now basically we are in an overstock situation where we were in a chip shortage situation a few months ago. And yeah, this is so weird, but it was predictable when the crypto crash would be happening. No one knew when it would be happening, but yeah, it will be interesting to see how the market deals with that, what that means for the upcoming generations. If perhaps they're getting delayed so that the market can equalize before they get released. Yeah, there are a lot of voices chiming in at the moment, and it's not really clear, and it's hard to give advice, because I think an extreme situation like we have at the moment, a situation of this kind, in this dimension, we never had before. And so giving proper advice is hard. Even people in the industry, in the tech media industry, who are in the industry for 10 plus years, you have different opinions and different voices. The one side says, "Hey, buy now; it's the best chance you have." The other side says, "No, wait; it will go down. Prices will go down even further." So both can be right, both can be wrong. We don't know yet. And I think the Occam's razor applies again. Buy if you need it. If you don't need it, don't buy right now, and see what happens. So that's the advice that I think always should apply. And the only party that I'm actually sad for, which is now getting into this situation, is Intel with their ARC GPUs. They were in news this week and a lot of media coverage for the upcoming ARC GPUs. And Intel is basically now launching into this market situation, which has oversupply to the roof. And yeah, therefore, it will be hard for them. And but from what I heard, they're here just to stay, and it would be good for the GPU market to have a third party being there and keeping things in check in regards to pricing and so on. Yeah, and that was our final topic for the day. I hope you enjoyed the topics and discussions, and we will be back with episode number 24, I think on July 31st. So on the last day of the month. And the podcast version of our show is always made available the same day of the live stream at 8:30 p.m. CEST via our syndication partner Spreaker. In case the long form content does not suit you, there are releases of episode segments on YouTube every 2 days, so you can pick and choose the topics you would like to listen to. Although I have to get to editing those, the backlog ran out on Friday, on Saturday, on Thursday. So they will be back up probably tomorrow. Will be the next episode drop for the segments. For the show notes and written content, check out my blog at bnonet.com. And if you want to keep in touch, follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/bnoffer or join my Discord. Information for that you will find below, or use !Discord in the stream chat. And of course, feel free to join the live stream every second Sunday at 2 p.m. CEST, either on YouTube or Twitch. And if you want to support this show, consider following on Twitch, as well as subscribing and liking on YouTube. This will help us get traction on the algorithms. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and have a great day, everyone. And that is the podcast recording for today. I hope you liked the selection of topics for today. And yeah, so and thanks for chiming in. I intentionally changed that my stance for interaction during the podcast, so I can react to comments right away, because this is a live recording, so I think that's suitable. And yeah. So now I can open the floor for questions and comments. If there aren't any, we are going to close in a few minutes. And then I get to editing the audio version for tonight's release. And of course, if you are interested in the links, just posted the link to the show notes again. So if you want to follow up on one of the topics, you can do so very easily. Okay, yeah. I don't see anything in regards to questions or comments from YouTube. Twitch also not, it seems like. Then I would say enjoy the beautiful weather before it's getting too hot, especially for those in Germany. The next week will be hot, and we'll be back with the next live recording in 2 weeks on July 31st. And enjoy your time, and keep safe during these trying times. And I have to check what's going on with my stupid light up there. Take care, everyone. See you next time.